Hi, and welcome to Boom It's on the Blockchain. We are in our 84th show, and we've got a special guest with us today, Arpan Mondal. We've had Arpan on the show in the past, but he's got some exciting announcements to tell everybody. So how are you, Arpan?
I'm good. I will update you with the new news today.
Update us with the new news today. Exciting stuff all around. So the first thing is, Arpan's been on the show before. He's one of the leading up and coming blockchain developers in India right now. He does a lot of presentations on Web3 to different universities, and he's got a huge network of people out there that he's bringing into the blockchain and Web3 space. So just to kick things off then, Arpan, tell us a little bit more about this fund governance token, FTDAO.
So, on a very simple word, Fund Governance Token is abbreviated as FTDAO, and it is a decentralized autonomous organization. And basically, it is a utility token on top of Binance blockchain, and that empowers investor to actively participate in the future of sustainable energy. So that is what Fund Governance Token on a very high level.
Let's start a little bit about the token itself. So, it's operating on the Binance chain rather than Ethereum. So why did you make that decision, Arpan?
So in Ethereum, if you go and see the gas prices, and in Binance, if you see the gas prices, there is numerous changes. Like there's a very big differences in the gas prices of Binance and Ethereum. So on that contrary, so that the investor's pocket should not be filled with gas money. So that's how you choose Binance token to minimize the gas prices cost for our investors.
We'll go into a bit more about what the token does in a minute, but exciting news is you've got the token listed first of all. So where was it first listed in, Arpan?
It was listed in TokPi, and firstly, I have to announce that it is in Hong Kong. Like sitting in India, launching our token in Hong Kong, that's a very big deal, and we did that. So it has millions of dollars of transaction on that exchange, and we are very planning very hard. We have built our roadmap, like how we're gonna proceed it, and yeah, we have a big plan to expand it almost 10 plus exchanges this year.
And for people to think about, obviously most people out there know of exchanges like crypto.com, they know of Binance. They're the big ones really internationally coming out there. Coinbase is another one. TokPi, specialist exchange in Hong Kong. And as Arpan says, has multiple tokens and coins listing on it there.
Yes.
The company itself, you're based in India, but where's the company formed, Arpan?
So company is formed at a South American island, and it's an SVG, that is Saint Vincent and Grenadines. So you can go to your website, you can check the address. We are registered there and on the name of Governance Venture LLC.
So a governance venture. And what's one of the reasons why it's been located out of SVG?
So our first criteria is to be a country we need to pick that is crypto friendly. And SVG has multiple companies who are in cryptocurrencies, who are in Web3 space, who are in blockchain space. And we have seen all those things. And we feel it is a very safer place to establish our company there, as well as their jurisdiction and the rules and regulation they have in SVG country is perfect to the Web3 companies to form there. So that's why we chose to establish our company in SVG.
Yeah, that's super interesting there as well. So, we had a look online for we're coming there. So it's been trading for about a week on TokPi.
Yes.
That's just out. It was a list price of 1 cent, and it's doing a sort of daily volume now of about $11,000-12,000. So for a
Yes.
lot of people out there, they're looking at crypto and they're looking at the billions of dollars and multi-millions of dollars for the bigger cryptocurrencies. But ultimately, you've got past stage one anyway, Arpan. You've got something listed, and I appreciate you put a lot of hard work into that point. So let's talk a little bit about the problem of what the cryptocurrency is going to do.
So as climate changes accelerates and we have resource depletion looms, and so there is an urgent need for innovation solution that only mitigates ecological damage but also promote responsible financial practices. So we are meeting very ambitious sustainability targets that require a bold and whole of the society approach. That's why you are a DAO. And we have a like limited direct decision making and involvement for investors to invest in the development of renewable energy or net zero project or ESG. So that's where we are solving a problem, finding a ecological benefit and a financial practices in a common place.
Yeah, that's a good insight to it. I think, from people out there, we're all looking at this, the global warming, climate change, what's happening out there. All the big energy companies are now getting involved in this. I think what's interesting about this DAO token, we'll speak a little bit how a DAO token works for a lot of people out there in a minute, Arpan, because a lot of people won't even understand what that actually does. But I think what's interesting with what's been created with the FTDAO is it allows people an opportunity to vote on investing in energy projects, and there'll be projects coming on board, and this will all be done on chain. And that's what's interesting about the tokens itself. So if you think of the sort of solution that you've talked about there, but let's talk a little bit about a utility token. So, what you've created is a utility token with a governance mechanism. Just explain to people out there, what is a utility token and what type of cryptocurrency is this?
So utility token is a kind of token that has a utility on top of blockchain. It's not a basic cryptocurrency, but it has a utility to do it. You just not only buy the coins, you can also use that coin to vote onto our platform. You can vote to different ESG projects out there. So you are not just holding your coin in your wallet, but also you are utilizing your coin to vote a particular project or to directly invest to particular project. That's what utility token in very simple words I would like to conclude.
Yeah, and then explain a little bit about the governance mechanism of this.
Okay. So in governance token are the type of cryptocurrency like that allows token holders to vote on the direction of a blockchain project. So governance tokens represent the ownership in a decentralized protocol, and also they provide a token holder with some certain rights and that influence protocol direction. So basically the primary purpose of governance token is to decentralize decision making, to give a holder to say it's how the project is to run. Like, so every token holder should have the right to give an opinion on how a project should run. So that's what governance mechanism is.
Yeah, and that leads nicely into the DAO part of it. So, people will see there it's an FTDAO. So
Yes.
Fund Governance Token, and that stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And, for people thinking about what a DAO is, ultimately, most organizations, it's top-down run. It's essentially, you've got a board of directors, CEO makes the decision-making on a process. A DAO, which is becoming very popular, it means, as Arpan said earlier, everyone gets to have a vote on this. But explain a bit more detail, like how will the DAO actually work?
Okay. So a DAO is a kind of a form of a legal structure that has not a central authority. So all the people who are associated to a particular project or FTDAO, they are a part of the DAO because we don't have a central authority. So every person have a right to say something of the project. So they can also can influence a decision and make a decision at the same time. Also, if you are popularizing this cryptocurrency enthusiast and blockchain technology, DAOs are used to make decision in the bottom up management approach basically. So by the virtue of operating on blockchain, the FTDAO will represent the immutable ownership and provide the transparent distribution that will make FGT ideally suitable to distribute decision making through voting and through this platform called DAO.
So that's interesting, Arpan. So go a little bit more about the mechanics of how an FTDAO voting system actually works on the blockchain.
So specifically, like the person who gonna come to vote, they will already have their FTDAO tokens on their MetaMask wallet or whatever the wallet they're using, which is BEP compliant. And we have built a system with our blockchain developer from the team, and there you could come connect your blockchain wallet, and in that place come to a, like, you can vote to any project, like it can be environmental project, it can be gas project, oil and gas, it can be net zero, come to and stake your coins and vote to a particular project that you want. Suppose your coin, like your voting has more than 50% rights, you will, that vote going to be accepted. So like we have built that entire voting mechanism system on blockchain, and there is 100% transparency on where you are voting for, and everything is very transparent as you are building on blockchain.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then, and then the way the weighting system sort of works with DAO voting systems and
Yes.
blockchain is that, everyone logs in, and whether you've got one token or whether you've got a million tokens, you still vote on the project the same, and it just calculates all the votes. But what's interesting for the token holder is they'll be able to see their vote hashed on chain as well. So
Yes.
your vote's counted, you'll know what the vote is. And as Arpan said, that once you're over that 50% mark, then that's a project that the DAO token itself was going to get involved in as well. So let's talk a little bit about, you spoke about briefly the sort of core focus areas for FTDAO and what we're looking to do. So, let's go over the sort of energy sectors, what you're looking at, and where we're looking for FTDAO to be involved in.
So the core focus of fund governance token FTDAO is we will use fundraise to invest in the development of green energy related technologies and energy production. Like for each of these areas, the company will seek to present investment options that are in the sector of environmental, social, and governance principle and protocol. Basically, if there is any renewable project, there is any ESG project, there is any net zero oil and gas project, and we will support funding to that kind of projects, and that is our core focus.
When these energy projects come to the table, and if you're running an energy project out there, you're looking for funding, FTDAO could be a potential way for you to get involved. So it's not only voting for people to allow them, it allows, any FTDAO investors an opportunity to invest early into these other projects that are coming on board, but it's also the marketing push and everything behind this as well that's going to come into that. And I think what's interesting as well about what Arpan's doing is it's not just going to be renewables and sustainable energy. It's, you think of India right now that's going through an industrial revolution,
Yes.
and huge amounts of oil imports coming into the country. But it's like, how can this be net zero? And I think
Yes.
when people think about gas, think about oil, they think about coal, I think net zero is a term that we're going to start to use more and more, because essentially if this use of energy that you're creating is net zero, then it's obviously good for the future of the world, rather than just saying everything's going to be green energy. Because ultimately, as much as we want to push to green energy and we're doing this transition, realistically, it's not going to happen overnight. And I think what's really interesting about what Arpan has done, and especially some of the young team that brought in from India, and this shows the power of young people at university, coming out graduates, specialists in what they're doing, is essentially allowing them to look for new ways of them coming in to not only understand projects, but also this ability to vote on projects and vote on projects side by side. There'll be times when there'll be a net zero oil project come up to vote on and a renewable energy project at the same time. Now,
Absolutely.
you could vote yes for both. You could vote yes or no. And then the voting system will be set up to let people do it. But if you've got 500,000 token holders all voting on this, it's big weight in terms of not only from fundraising, but also from PR perspective, certainly from political perspective as well. You'll find this will open into so many doors, and that's what's so exciting about what you've done with this project and where it's looking to develop, which
Yes.
is super interesting. So we spoke a little bit about the token structure. So it's a BEP token. I just want to go in a little bit more in terms of this BEP20 token that has been created. If you think of that, okay, it's cheaper than Ethereum, but also, what are we talking about in terms of like transaction speed? What's the transaction speed of BEP token? How fast is it really out there to be able to handle all this activity?
So the Binance chain is known for its faster transaction processing times, and that's why it is very low fees. So it is how this is balances, like the faster the transaction is, the lower the cost is. So that's how it is related. So Binance has a pretty fast transaction time. That's why it has a very low fees than Ethereum. So this can be especially advantageous for all the projects that focus on like microtransaction or dApps that require very fast and inexpensive transaction. And next is like there is also a feature of interportability. There's a new feature where BEP20 tokens can be more readily integrated with Binance ecosystem, which include the Binance Exchange and all other Binance projects. So this can be very easier for you to access at a broader user base and distribution and as well as liquidity.
I'm based in California, and when the blockchain's developed here, it's all on Ethereum-based blockchain. But you're based out in India. The project's out in SVG, but really out over that part of the world, Arpan, it's BEP tokens, obviously coming from China and everything else. Binance tokens are probably more popular than Ethereum tokens out there. Would that be correct,
Yes.
Arpan?
Yes. Due to the gas fees, like we come in a country like where no people want to pay anything extra. So that's why like the lesser the gas fees, that is good for the people. That goes for good for the customer.
I've minted tokens through Ethereum before as well. And, originally when I first started minting tokens back 2018, 19, it was like 6 cents, 7 cents to mint a token. There was points where it was costing me like $150 to mint a token, which was like, that's a huge amount of money. Now I get it. They've changed the proof of works and the cost has gone down, but it's still expensive to do it. And then you're based on the Ethereum price of the day, etc. And the gas fees of it. And, we had Zenobia from Hedera coming in, and, they've benchmarked their token price against the USD, and they're doing sort of net zero in terms of a net zero blockchain through Hedera, which is super interesting. But this thing you're talking about here, you couldn't set up a huge voting system as a DAO and do it on Ethereum without it being very expensive every single vote. And if you're going out and you're going to start to push a lot of Indian investors, smaller investors coming into this project, you're going to have a lot of holders of the token. And then it's going to be, super expensive to have the votes. And, automatically you're creating a lot of CO2 emissions based on the voting. So I think that's what's interesting about Binance as well from that. If you start thinking about some of the outreach programs you're doing right now in terms of educating people about this, Arpan, because I'll tell you what's interesting is that most things people talk about tokens is it's faceless. Nobody has the face of it. How are people going out to the community? Arpan's basically putting like boots on the street, everybody, and he's going out there to the universities and educating essentially thousands of people every month and what he's doing. Tell us a little bit more about what you're actually doing for outreach program, Arpan.
So, on the outreach program, I'm actually associated with many universities in our country, and I'm traveling to all those universities to empower students because they are the future investor of the country. So I'm empowering them with this newer technology or blockchain, Web3, introducing them to newer parts of the technology and telling them FTDAO is doing a revolutionary work in place of environmental sustainability and which is merging into a financial inclusion at the end. So we are a platform where like it doesn't matter where you come from, but you have the right to vote to any project in the world. And that's so amazing, like sitting in your home, you're voting for a project, like it's somewhere in the other part of the country, and that is developing some environmental projects, like they are using some recycle project also, you're voting for them, you're supporting them. So I recently went to 3 universities, I told them about the project, what it is and whatnot. They are so excited that like you are doing a job that is helping the mother earth, and again doing the business over that, like it's so good, like we are not affecting the earth and we are doing our business. Yeah. Also, like tomorrow also I'm going to a different college and I will telling them what is FTDAO is, what is fund governance token is, what is governance token.
One of the things that I found super fascinating is, he's going out to universities, and it's like sometimes there's 300 people, 500 people all speaking to Arpan. They're coming out to see him talk about this. And it's not only he's educating them about Web3, he's educating them about blockchain. Essentially, within Arpan's network, there's 25,000 young Indian blockchain developers out there. It's a huge amount. If Silicon Valley, your day is over once these guys get going. But what's really good and interesting that I'm excited about is what you're doing with this ambassador program for these young students. Because I understand, I was a student once. You never had much money, Arpan. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what students are. You maybe got enough
Yes.
money to put together for a couple of beers on Friday night, but you're not going to have money to invest in these things. But you're going out and doing this educational piece because this is the future. But you're creating this ambassador program. Tell us more about how the ambassador program is going to work and how all these young people can get involved in it.
So I'm going to different colleges. There's a reason behind it, and why you are not airdropping it. Also, I also have a reason for that also. So we are introducing ambassador program to the people who gonna write articles about environmental issues like and sustainability projects, ESG project, net zero and oil projects as well, and who gonna speak about our token. Like we want genuine people onto our platform who genuinely support us, not come to our platform just for few tokens because each token is very valuable. Each token has the right to vote, so each token is very valuable. So on that case, we just don't want to give away tokens on airdrops. We want to make valuable people who do valuable contribution to the people we are in the Web3 space and blockchain space. So that's why we're introducing the ambassador program in different colleges where they will not only teach about Web3, they're going to teach about recycle, reuse, they're going to teach about environmental projects, they're going to talk about sustainable projects. Yeah. So we're going to focus on that sector basically, and not giving away any number of tokens, any for a number of airdrops to get some PR and marketing, because we know that each token is very valuable. Each token is equal to one vote. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect, Arpan. I love that way because it's like, in my wallet, I've actually got quite a lot of different types of tokens that I get from airdrops. People always tag me on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, oh, there's an airdrop coming. Are you going to sign up? Well, you're giving away some free stuff. I'll sign up to get it. So,
Yeah.
but there's, to me, it's right there. What's the point in that? I get it. It increases the token holder base straight away. It creates some PR. You can go from having 10, 15 people involved in setting a token up in the start of it, and then suddenly you've got 200 people all got tokens there as well. The problem is, it's like, I've got no buy-in to these tokens. Most of them are meme tokens, don't do anything anyway. I've got some weird NFTs, all sorts of stuff that I collect anyway, that just, if they're giving me it free in the blockchain, oh, well, I'll take it and stick it in there. Might be worth something one day. And might not be, because a lot of these tokens are just giveaways as well.
Yes.
But what's interesting about this ambassador program that you're running is that you're actually going out there, speaking to people face to face, getting them to be involved in this. And if they're writing an article about some sort of sustainable energy project, or if they're writing an article about some sort of new technology, then they get rewarded. And by doing that, it helps build the community for that,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is
We are
super interesting as well.
we're creating a very valuable community by that, and not creating any fake followers like kind of that. Like we can do airdrops. That's not a big deal. But we want to find people that are genuinely interested in our project. So for doing that, we need to set up campus ambassadors to all around the places in India as well as in the globe.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to finish with that, and with FTDAO there as well. And what's interesting for me as well, everyone out there, is like, Arpan's brought me on as an advisor on the project to start giving some of the knowledge I've got in terms of, from the oil and gas, supporter of renewable energy, sustainable energy. I'm going to come on board and be like energy blockchain advisor for the project. I know you've brought on a young team as well. So give a little bit in ground, just the other guys that have come on the board of the project as well. I know Tushar. What's Tushar's role in the project, Arpan?
So Tushar is our community manager. He gonna handle all our social media posts. He gonna handle our community. So every time you are coming to a community, he gonna first to answer your queries. So he's always there 24/7.
And then the young Jackson, who's a web developer, but also a blockchain developer as well. What's he going to be doing? Is he going to be like building the FTDAO voting system? I know he's been working on that.
Yes. So he and we gonna both develop the voting system, because that is very crucial and that is the core part of the project. So we both gonna develop that part.
Yeah, Arpan's a developer as well, for everyone to understand this type of thing. So when he gets too technical at talking about things, I'll bring it back to layman's term for some of our podcast followers. But that's exciting as well. So just to finish things off then, Arpan, how can they find a little bit more about this project then?
So basically, go and type fundtokens.io. Here there is a website, live website. You can see our live token price. You can go check our how much we are regulating, how much what our daily trade is. You can go check out our white papers. That is also in our website, and you can just read about it. Like we have posted the best content in the website. Whatever you can find, every information that you will need is there in the website. So I will suggest you please go in the website. I hope it will be there in the description of this video. Yeah, please go and check it out.
Yeah, perfect. And then also what Arpan's going to be doing is he's going to be taking like videos, photographs of when he's going to these outreach programs looking for new ambassadors to come on board. So, we'll get you on in future podcasts and we can see some of Arpan in action in the community, which is what it's about, because I know the crypto community is about building a community. It's an online community, but I like that Arpan's taking this old school and going out and speaking to people face to face, and there's nothing beats that. Okay. Well, thanks very much today. It's exciting to hear about your project, Arpan, and best of luck. Hopefully everything works out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting.
Right. Thanks to everyone out there. You've been watching Boom It's on the Blockchain. My name's Alistair Caithness. Have a nice day.